enough.
That's all right, miss. The coast's clear. You can investigate to your heart's content.
Oh, the sweet little ups and downs.
Oh, yes, we got plenty of those.
And the darling little crooked steps.
Oh, yes, you mind them little steps, miss. There's something cruel in the dark corners.
You took your time. No one here?
I've had a telegram, Mr. Prodmore, from Captain the Honourable Clement Yule.
Well, not to say he ain't coming.
Well, he used to take the 2:20 train from Paddington. He certainly should be here, sir.
My flyaway daughter, where the deuce is she? She and her maid were to have taken the 1:40 from her grandmother's place near Belborough. I was to drive over from the most convenient of my seats. Captain Yule was finally to shake off for a few hours the peculiar occupations that engage him. We were to converge.
I'm surprised he hasn't been here before, sir, just to see what has been left. I was expecting him up here so as I could show him round.
I'll take him round, never fear. Round and round.
Oh, that's good, sir.
Exactly what I've come for. He can't fail to be affected, though he has been up to his neck in matters of a different class.
Ain't nothing I dare say but what's right, sir.
And everything is diabolically wrong. There he is.
Your daughter, sir.
Cora! The dickens do you mean by being late?
I feel rather faint. Oh, could I have some tea?
Since I shall expect much of you this afternoon, yes. Some tea.
I did think it might be required, sir. I lay it out in the morning room here.
It was my train, Papa. I was so awfully behind. Also, I walked up from the station. Such a lovely footpath across the park.
Roaming the countryside alone?
Oh, dear, no, not alone. There were ever so many people about.
I don't doubt there were. Where amongst these multitudes, pray, is your maid?
I didn't bring her. She was extremely unwell.
I thought she understood at the first that we do not permit.
Anything of the sort? Yes, Papa, I thought she did.
What on earth's the matter with her?
I think that a granny, she eats too much.
I'll soon put a stop to that. And you expect to continue your adventures, then, into the night? Returning to Belborough as you came, at loose on the face of the planet?
No, Papa, dear. Under the protection of a new friend. A lady I met in the train who was also going back by the 6:19. She was like myself on her way to this place. I expected to find her here.
What does she want in this house?
She wants to see it.
Today? Oh, today won't do.
So I suggested. Do you know what she said?
How should I know what a nobody says?
She's not a nobody. She's an American.
An American?
She asked me if this isn't a show house. I said I hadn't the least idea.
It is, of course it is. What the devil would she think of you for not knowing that?
She's tremendously clever. There seems to be nothing she doesn't know.
There seems to be nothing you do. You're not tremendously clever, so you'll permit me to demand of you a slight effort of intelligence. I am expecting Captain the Honourable Clement Yule.
The owner of this property?
He came into it 3 months ago by the death of his great-uncle. Never laid eyes on it.
Doesn't Captain Yule live here now?
On the contrary, he comes here for the first time. I have some business to discuss with him. I want you to take pains to make him welcome.
In his own house?
It is not his own house. That's precisely the point I am making. The way I look at it, it is my house. It's mortgaged for every penny of its value as it stands. And I'm in the happy position, you follow me,
Of holding the mortgages?
I hold every scrap of paper.
Do you mean that you can come down on him?
I don't need to come down, my dear. I am down. I came down, financially speaking, many weeks ago, and I haven't budged since.
Are you going to be very hard?
Hard is a stupid, shuffling term. What do you mean by it?
Well, I don't understand business. I think I understand you, Papa. Enough to gather that, as usual, you have a striking advantage.
As usual, I have scored, but my advantage will not be striking until I've sent the blow home. I look to you, as my daughter, to nerve my arm.
For what?
This, the most important transaction of my life. I brought you here to make an impression.
On whom?
On me, for a start, by not being a fool. And then, miss, on him.
On Captain Yule?
You must bring him to the point.
Father, what point?
The point where a gentleman has to.
Go down on his knees, you mean?
No, they don't do that now.
Well, what do they do?
Oh, he will know himself.
Oh, no, indeed he won't. They never do.
The sooner they learn, whoever teaches them, the better. I guarantee he shall understand that, for I shall do my part.
Father, all great men get carried away sometime by their wonderful schemes. This is not how such things happen. In the first place, I've never even seen him.
That you will do very soon. He's remarkably handsome, remarkably ambitious, and remarkably clever.
Yes, but he probably
He has one of the best and oldest names in this part of the country. A name which far and wide here one could do so much with. I'm indignant to see him do so little. I propose, my dear, to do with it what he hasn't. And I further propose, to that end, first, to get hold of it. Through you.
Father, I have
Don't
just
tell me
explained...
that's not how these things are done. I've seen more marriages arranged between breeding and brass than any man in the country. You will pick his name up out of the dust. Then when we've rubbed it off and brushed it down, blown away the dust, touched up the rust, you will gracefully bear it. That is my plan.
And pray, is it also Captain Yule's plan?
His plans have not yet quite matured. But nothing is more natural than that they should do so on the sunny south wall of my daughter's best manor.
You exaggerate, I think, the warmth of my manner. It has always been thought remarkably cold.
Then you'll be so good, my dear, as to confound, or perhaps even scandalize that opinion. I've spent 20 years giving you what your poor mother used to call advantages. It's cost me hundreds and thousands of pounds. The time has now come when both as a parent and a man of business, I should get my money back.
How can you be
I couldn't
so
help your
hard?
temper nor your taste, nor your unfortunate resemblance to that estimable, though far from ornamental woman who brought you forth.
Thank you.
But I paid out a small fortune that you should have, damn you, a good manner. You never show it to me, certainly. You mean to tell me at this late hour you haven't got one?
To people who are particularly civil to me, yes. Captain Yule may not think I have a good manner.
Well, don't look at him like a sick turkey and he'll be sure to think right.
What I don't understand is why you want him at all. After all I've heard you say about his socialism. This radical program. The social revolution. The planned plundering of everyone and the destruction of everything.
He will renounce his low opinions for you.
He won't renounce them, and that will be that.
Oh, you mean you are of the same political persuasion and therefore will take him as he is?
I won't take him at all. Well, that must be he. Surely you don't want me to bounce on him like this?
Are you telling me after what it cost me that your frock won't do?
It's not my frock. He's just thinking I'm here to be looked over.
He doesn't think it, and he shan't know it.
He knows you want me to hook him.
The way to hook him is not to be hopelessly vulgar. He doesn't know that you know anything. Await us in the morning room, and mind you toe the line.
Don't kill me, Father. Give me time.
Captain, the Honourable Clement Yule, sir.
Delighted to see you here at last, sir.
If I've not come here before, Mr. Prodmore, it was, very frankly, from the dread of seeing you.
Oh, I hope you'll feel differently before long.
Certainly, I have no illusions about the basis of our meeting. Your remarkable financial acumen has placed me at your mercy. You hold me in the hollow of your hand.
Well, I won't deny when I go in deep, I don't go in for nothing. I make it pay double.
Double hardly does you justice.
Well, you know, you could always clear the property, pay off the mortgages.
Pay off? With what?
You could always raise money.
On what?
Your great political future.
Oh, I haven't taken the lucrative line politically. I think you know that.
I hold that politically you keep very dangerous company. I also hold that you're reckless because you've got nothing at stake. A man has the right opinions the minute he has something to lose by having the wrong.
You brim over with worldly wisdom, Mr. Prodmore.
You're only a firebrand because you're an impecunious bachelor. Haven't I already hinted at what your course should be? Marry, Captain. Marry money.
Well, of course, I could do that in a moment.
I know any woman would jump at you.
I don't like jumping women. More to the point, I've yet to see the woman at whom I would jump.
Well, now, I haven't asked you to jump at anyone. All I suggested a month ago was that you should think about things.
Yes, I have thought about it, and it seems to me if the worst came to the worst, I could always let it go.
Throw up the property?
Isn't it the property that's throwing me up? If I can afford neither to live in it nor to pay it off, surely the simplest thing is to say, take it, dear sir, and be hanged to you.
You wouldn't be so shockingly rude.
Why not, if I'm a firebrand? Sacrifice for sacrifice, that might well be the least.
Oh, come. Now that you stretch yourself for the first time in the ancient cradle of your line, can you seriously entertain the idea of parting with it?
The cradle of my line bears to me, Mr. Prodmore, a remarkable resemblance to its tomb. Musty, mangy, mouldy. Is this its character throughout?
Well, it does look a bit run down. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do it up for you. I'll throw that in.
Will you put in electric light?
Well, if you meet me halfway. We're dealing with uniqueness here, you know. Don't you feel a kind of shiver down your spine as you take it all in?
What I do feel is a distinct air of depression, age, mercilessness, the human lives this place has eaten up.
Well, look around a bit more. Make yourself at home. I'm sure you'll change your mind.
Well, it's very kind of you. Do you mind if I light a cigarette?
In your own house, Captain.
That's just the point. It seems so much less my own now than before I saw it. So, as I understand you, you lump your two conditions together. Either I accept both or neither.
You will accept both, but in so doing, you'll clear the property at a stroke. The way I see it is this. You resign your present seat and stand for Gossage as a Conservative. You stand for Gossage, you'll get returned for Gossage.
And if I'm returned for Gossage, I marry your daughter. And if I marry your daughter...
I make a bonfire before your eyes of every mortgage on the property. There won't be a penny to pay. You can settle down here in comfort and honor.
There's very little honor in turning one's political coat.
Well, you'll only be turning it back to the way it was always worn by your family. Gossage will receive you with open arms and press you to a heaving Tory bosom. That bosom has never heaved but to sound Conservative principles. The constituency of Gossage has been the political property of your family for generations. You stand in the old interests, and you'll stand like a lion.
If you're so hot for Gossage, why the deuce don't you stand for it yourself?
Because I'm not a handsome young man with a grand old home and the right old name. It is precisely because I do not have these advantages that I intend to see that my daughter has.
You're prepared to pay a very high price.
You come high, but you're the real thing. I intend, Captain, that you shall be the true comfort of my life.
I ask if Miss Prodmore's ideas of comfort are as well defined as her father's. Is she party to this ingenious arrangement?
Miss Prodmore, Captain Newell, may best be described as a large, smooth sheet of blank, though gilt-edged paper. For your signature to appear on it, she has only to set eyes on you.
Like the prince in the fairy tale.
You remember what you said when I first in London laid this matter before you?
Yes, it struck me that I should first look at the house that had started all the fuss.
I'm willing to go even further. I'm ready to hear you say you should also first take a look at the young lady, too.